YouTube, this is blalp here with a Me System tutorial. So let's get started, I guess. So instead of having already built structure, I'm just gonna dive right in to the basics. First of all, I'm gonna start off with a basic Me system, and I'm gonna use stuff that you'd actually use in actual so to start off with, you're gonna need a drive bay. The simplest ME system would probably just be a chest hooked up, but okay. So there's your simple ME system, and I'm gonna be cheap and make a creative one. Creative ME storage cell, because they have infinite power, which is nice. Normally we use 1K cells, but whatever. And then you're also gonna need an energy acceptor. So you could use these energy cells, but since it just works, if you're in a mod pack, you probably want to use the energy acceptor, just because it's so much easier to use, like, because you can use universal cable with it, and like a solar panel and stuff, so you can actually like set up an actual power system and hook it up to your energy acceptor, which needs to be connected over here. This is called an ad hoc system, I believe, so it's actually just, it can only support a couple devices. I can only support 8 devices without one of these guys. This is an ME controller. It's capable of outputting 32 channels per side. A channel is essentially just something that requires data instead of just power. So this requires data because it needs to store stuff. This requires data to get the data, but this does not take a channel. So right now I'm using 2 channels here. This is capable of outputting 32 per side. This ME glass cable in everything but the ME dense cable. So the dense cable here, this is capable of putting out 32 per side. So if you have the funds, then it's nice to use the dense cable, but it's gargantuan. So, and it's pretty expensive. Like, if you look at, if I can spell, that, I think I need to be in, or something. No, it's not working. Okay, fine. That way. Whatever. So anyway, it's pretty expensive to do. It's like some covered cable, spore covered cable, and logic processor or something. So that is pretty expensive, and if you're in a survival mode, you probably don't want to spare the funds for it. So these ME controllers are pretty cheap. You can just make a whole bunch of them, to be honest. They can create multi-block structures, so like you cannot have two ME controllers on your system at the same time. So like this is not allowed, for example. I don't think, but this is, and it creates a multi-block. See, creates a multi. So there's a whole bunch of different types of terminals. First of all, there's a normal terminal, and then you have your interface terminal, your pattern terminal, your crafting terminal, and fluid terminals. That's in more cells too, I believe it is. This guy, extra cells too. So if you don't have that mod, whatever. That's where I'm getting the other one from. This is a medium. Okay. So here's all of them. That's not relevant. It's a fluid terminal. I can teach you how to use the fluid one too, but this one is the pattern terminal. So this one is used for auto crafting. I'll get to that later because this is gonna be a complete tutorial. I don't want to show all my death points. I didn't die once in this world, so I don't know why it's... Okay, and then here's the interface terminal. This is again for auto crafting. And then this is your normal terminal. And then there's also something called a crafting terminal, which is essentially a crafting bench down here. One warning about this though is that if you shift click here, then it will give you a stack of it, and it'll pull the resources from the ME, rather than like if let's say I just want to make some pistons, for example, then you know I have all the necessary materials and stuff, right? I put it in the ME. I'm kidding me. What? What? Okay, fine. I don't know what you're doing, computer, so stop messing around. I've never used a creative one, so is this gonna work for me now? Yeah, there you go. Okay, so now that works, and cobblestone. So then if I go over here to the crafting terminal, like I want to, you know, I want to make one piston, okay? Right? I shift click. It makes me as much as I have. See, it ran out of cobblestone. So it kept going, pulling resources from the ME until I didn't have any more of one thing, and it stopped me. So yeah, that's just something to watch out for when you're using the ME crafting terminal. It can be kind of dangerous sometimes, so that's use this with caution on the shift clicking. You can hook up as many ME drives as you want. One nice thing about the ME stuff is all of the ME devices, like the blocks, all pretty much you can imagine them with they come in, they pretty much act like a cable along with what they are. So this drive is getting used as a cable for this drive, and this drive is getting used as a cable for this drive. So it's actually connected via this guy. And is that 8? That is 8. So since I just used an ad hoc system, I got to the edge of what I can actually do because I used all 8 channels. So if I put another one over here, it's actually gonna die. See this? How it's not lit? See how it's lit now? Because I went over my channels, the amount of channels I have. Sometimes people have a nice, it's over here in the world, the highlight tooltips. Some people have a really nice one that says how many channels. I don't know what mod that is, but it's really useful, whatever it is. I don't have it, so that's kind of sad. But, I can show you the fluid terminal now. So we need to take a 64 fluid cell. Okay. So you pretty much just you pick the liquid you want if you want to deposit and just put it there, or you can put it there if it's full and it'll empty it. See how 200, 100, none, 100, 2000. See? So you can just keep going with that based on the types here. So over here, the bytes is essentially how much storage you have. So whether it's pretty much like, hey, this, I don't know exactly how many bytes each item is, or whatever, but the more bytes, the more things you can store. But all the different types of drives, no matter what size it is, it always has, like if we get a 1K drive over here, it always has 63 types, but see how the bytes is a lot larger on this one? So it can still only hold 63 types of items, but it can hold a lot more of those 63 types. So that's the advantage of the larger drives. In also, we have a whole bunch of 1K drives, because, I don't know, we do, and there's just no real reason to make bigger ones for us. So, uh, yeah, that's, and then I'm gonna, and then for the, that's pretty much the basics of it. So, that's pretty much it for, and then I'm gonna start to show you some more advanced stuff. So I'm gonna set up an ME controller here. Loading in the air. I like to put the energy acceptor in the middle. It's just kind of something I like to do because if you put let's say I make this kind of thing, that's not being used right there. That's not being used, so it's useless and it's a waste. So I put the energy acceptor here because all the ME devices act like a cable, like I said earlier, so I don't actually need to get another cable in here. I can just put it straight here and it feeds everything, which is nice. So then, there we go. And I probably want to split this up actually. So then, this is using 8 channels, and then this will also use 8. So now I have 8 over here, so I can put more down. A lot more down actually. I can put a total of 8 across. Is that 8? Yes, 8. And then I can put 8 over here too. And it's all connected to the same system. So even though this isn't connected to each other, besides through the ME controller, it's still connected. So these crafting terminals are not that bad comparatively to the normal terminals. If you're gonna make a terminal, crafting terminals are nice. And then there's also a block called the MEIO port. So this is transferring, let's say, you have another ME system or something. So you have another ME system over here somewhere, you know, that has an energy acceptor, you know, everything you need to make an ME system. And you have some drives in here, for example, and you want to grab stuff out of this one. So like, let's say I put some buckets in here. So let's say this guy. So I want to take this I want to take the buckets that I just put in here, and I want to put them in that ME. So then I just take the drive, put it in here. See how it says 9 bytes in one of types? It emptied that all of that data into the drives over here. So that's a nice thing, especially if you get a portable cell, which is unfortunately only 1 byte, only 1K of storage, but you can pretty much just put 1K of storage in here. So you can just, this is pretty much like a portable 1K drive, which is awesome. And then if I want to transfer all that stuff to the ME system, I can just put it over here, and then it transferred all of that stuff into these drives. So now my stuff's in here, which is cool. And I want it back. There we go. So that's cool. The ME security terminal. This is very useful if you want to get secure people out of the ME. So to actually have this useful, you need a biometric code, which unfortunately, they'll have one for myself, but since there's no one else here, I can't really show it to you, but I'll try. if you put it here, you can actually choose the different permissions that they have. Like I want security. So this is people can actually modify this stuff. Otherwise, you can't. Build, like, so you can actually like break ME cables and stuff. Craft, so like they can use this crafting thing down here. Deposit withdraw is pretty obvious. You can put stuff in or take stuff out. And then you put it over here in the security terminal. It pop up like right there, and then it keep going. So that's a nice thing to have. So you can secure people out of your network and stuff. Anyone who's not here isn't gonna show up. That's cool. So we covered that. Let's get into auto crafting now, because that's what half this stuff is, and I was going crazy on auto crafting. So let's build a system over here. So it's gonna be my ME cable. Far away. It takes more power the further away you go, but man, I have two solar panels. I'm good. So now if you're gonna make an automatic system, you're gonna need ME interfaces, like quite a few of them. ME interfaces is pretty much like, it's kind of like a smart hopper. So it'll actually take stuff out of your. I'll just show you for a second. So first of all, you're gonna need some blank patterns over here in the pattern terminal, which I should actually just put one over here because I don't want to keep going back and forth. So interface terminal and a pattern terminal. So now you put your blank patterns up here, and then like let's say I want to make a piston, okay? So I'd actually pretend like I'm crafting it over here. Oh my gosh, I'm failing. And it'll actually encode the pattern here. So this is what it takes to build a piston. You tell the computer, hey, this is how to make a piston. So then you put the pattern in here, and then you get a molecular transposer, molecular assembler, sorry. And then you put it on top of here. This is pretty much like an auto crafting thing that works well with this. If you only want to use one of them for some odd reason, only one pattern, then you can put it in here and it'll work. But why on earth would you do that when you have 9 patterns here? So anyway, you can set this up, and then if I ever run out of pistons, oh look, that's magical. Hey, I want 100 more pistons. Oh, I don't have enough redstone, cobblestone, oak wood planks, iron ingots. Dang. Well, make one. Yay. No crafting CPUs are available. Well, then we need crafting CPUs. So crafting CPUs are, they're pretty much like a CPU, essentially. So you can just, and it's a multi-block structure just like the ME terminal, except for you can have a whole bunch of them. So like right now I have 4 CPUs. Now I have one 5K CPU and 3 1Ks. So you can do whatever you want. Like for bigger jobs, you might want to have a couple of them that are a little bit bigger than the other ones. But you really don't need anything more than 1K, really. Unless you're like trying to make high voltage solar arrays, like 100 of them, or something weird like that. And then it'll automatically go through in here. It should be monitoring it. Craft 1. Stop. That's odd. And then we can see what this thing is. I don't even know what it is. Crafting monitor? Hopefully it says what it's crafting. Craft a piston. Use that one. Honestly, what's going on here? If it isn't working, then maybe try the Cirrus Quartz wrench to try to get like that. So it's actually pointing up at it. Now, if I say craft, Should be working. That doesn't look like it has power. So I guess it needs a cable of its own. Oh look, that's magical. Okay, so now it's on. Now it's scheduled one. So unfortunately, I don't see any better way than to go to each and individually one of these. Stop it, which is kind of stupid. Oh, it's not working. Why is it not working? Because it's being stupid, maybe? I don't know. Right over here. Move the pattern. Do it up. There. Now craft a piston. No, you know what I think? I think we ran out of channels. We put too many crashing storages. So, another thing you can do, really useful thing, is a P2P tunnel. Yeah, here we go. P2P tunnel. So this guy is really useful. You can actually put him on the side of here and do this, and then it's called, here it is, memory code. And then you take a memory code to him. You go like this. Successfully saved settings, and you can go over here to like here, and then put the cable here and say successfully loaded settings. The only thing is, for P2P tunnels to work, unfortunately they need the more expensive smart cable rather than a normal glass cable. So this actually needs to be all smart cable leading back to the terminal, which is kind of sad, but you know, it's fine. And then after it, you can just put glass cables or whatever. So this is actually, so these are all using the channels from this wire here, but this P2P tunnel is actually using the channels from over here, from this side of the ME controller. So then we should have enough channels to where it should actually be working now. Yep, it crafted one for us. So now let's craft another one for us. And it'll craft. So this one is actually saying, hey, I want a piston, and then is pushing the stuff it needs in the correct areas to here, and then it's saying, okay, I did it, and then it sends it back into the ME, the item. So that's useful. You can also turn ME interfaces into this weird, it's like a panel. It looks a lot like the P2P panel right here, the ME interface on the side, which is weird. You can use them if you want to. There's no advantage to them, but they're like that instead. So like you'd cover this with P2P if you want to. You know, if you want to. Either way, I don't care. They both work, and you can just always go back and forth. So you can hook up almost any machine here, as long as like you feel like it. Almost any machine. Some of them don't work very well. Like if I want a redstone furnace, you know, to smelt stuff, because who doesn't want to smelt stuff? Then you go over here. If you're doing anything besides crafting, then what you're gonna need to do is you're gonna actually need to go over here to, where did my stone go? My stone disappeared. You're gonna need to get more blank patterns first of all. So something that I like to do is actually to create to use a blank pattern, whatever the crafting recipe is. I don't even know, but whatever the crafting recipe is, I like to create a blank pattern that creates blank patterns, so I can always just make more. It's just a nice trick. So let's say I want it. So I go here. This is just crafting. This is everything else. So you can actually also set up, like, if you really want to go crazy, which I did, thank you very much. See, like, I have stone now. I want 100 stone. I'm missing some cobblestone. 100. Okay. And then it says start. And then this feeds the data up here and starts feeding. Notice some devices actually need power. So you're gonna have to give them what they want, as power normally does. So I don't know how you want to wire that, but you have to give it its own power. So, and then it'll actually start cooking, and then it'll dump it back in the ME when it's done. So that's cool. So we got crafting, we got smelting. Honestly, if you really want to be nice, you can use. Except for when this is done, it's not going to pull in. Oh no. This is why import buses are so nice. So an import bus is pretty much, hey, I want to take this whatever's here and dump it in the ME. And then you need to change. No, it's working. So it's actually dumping. It's taking the stuff from over here and dumping it into the ME, which is really nice. So now it's actually pulling stone, which is nice. So we have crafting, we have smelting, but we can still do a lot more, you know, than just crafting and smelting. So let's show. I'm just gonna cover some of the harder ones right now because I like covering the harder ones. It's more fun. So inscribers, yes, the annoying inscriber. It gives us all nightmares. I know it does, but now this is gonna solve all of your inscriber needs, which is awesome. So this is actually gonna fix all of your inscriber needs, which is awesome. And I already said that. So this is we're gonna need ME interfaces, which again I like to have these ME interfaces as blocks rather than panels. My preference. I don't see the need to convert them to panels. It may look nicer, but I have more faith in a block personally. And then we got to move these. Right click them until they're actually feeding in the right direction. If they can feed in the right direction. Oh, that's strange. There they go. They're feeding this way now. Okay, whatever. Anyway, so once they're facing this way, however long that takes you, like that I think. Oh, that's facing downwards. What? Oh, I shifted. Oh, that was stupid. Anyway, so once these are finally going the correct direction, which might take a little while. I just got it. I just got it again. No, I just got it again. There you go. So anyway, it's hard when you can't see the side. You just do this 4 times. It doesn't matter. And then what you do is you can just dump stuff in the ME. I just like to go through, grab it when I want it later. Don't bother with all this stuff except for probably that. And the inscribe. And the import. Okay. So then we're going to need some presses. You know, all of those presses that you took so hard to find in asteroids, we're going to need one of them. You can always use iron blocks if you're scared and don't want to lose it. Then you can always do this. And it will. So actually you actually need to feed these individually because these need power and these don't get power. So they don't transfer the power across. So you actually need to feed them again. It'll actually duplicate it if you put iron block in there, which is a nice trick. So, you know, fill all these, all your 4 inscribers. I'm not going to actually hook these up, but I did it earlier. I don't want to do it again. Thank you very much. This is one time where I might use the interface. This one. Because it's frankly a lot easier on the directional thing. There we go. So, that's easier. So now that all those are set up, we're gonna need all the pointed sockets along with what it needs to take them. So I need pure source quartz, I need gold, I need diamonds, and I need silicon. Okay. So now, if we go over to the pattern terminal, what's the pattern terminal? Okay. So now, there we go. We want to be in this mode, right? Because we're not going to go crafting. We're going to say, hey, if we want one pointed silicon, then put one silicon. So this might sound a little weird, and then we just put it in the one that has the silicon press. So whatever that one is, this one. Put it in there. Oh, and this is what I was talking about with the pattern terminal. How you can actually get to all of them from one spot, which is really nice. And then dump it and keep going. Keep going until you have them all. So, yep, I have them all now. I'm gonna have to need to look at this first. Calculation, that's this one, right? That's engineering calculation. That one has the logic, so it needs the logic circuit. This one's engineering, right? Yeah. Okay, so then now, as long as we have all this stuff in our system, I'm just doing a nice creative cheat so I can actually get stuff in our system. So I want 100 of those, whatever once. 10 of them. Then it'll actually come over here. Well, it's the diamond one. Here it is. And start crafting, which is awesome. And just like the other one, import buses, people. Lots and lots of import buses. All of them turn on. So now it'll actually start feeding these back into the ME, which is nice. And you don't need all this cable. Yep. So that's automated printed circuits, which is really nice. Now you're wondering about everything else. This is great. Hear that. So for the export, we want to have an export bus underneath. So it's going to export. I probably need to hook up to another side of the ME controller at this point. Also another thing. I like to use these like crazy. Where are they? Stone, brick. I think I need brick. It's stone brick covers. I don't know what they are. They're not here. What? They're not here. Okay. They're in the mod pack though. Anyway, I like to use stone brick covers. Which just take a source quartz cutting knife. And, it just slices it down. I think, right? No? Whatever, there's some way to make them. I forgot how. But anyway, the covers allow you to put two things next to each other. Oh, my energy system is completely terrible, so I don't get power in the afternoon. That's stupid of me. And look, it is still working even though I broke an ME controller, which is kind of sad. Okay, there we go, and up and across. Okay, here we go. So we need to have this cable. There we go. This is gonna need to export printed silicon because all the processors need printed silicon at the bottom. And then you're gonna need something called a crafting code. So what this pretty much is if I don't have it, if I don't have one printed silicon in in the ME, then make one. So it's actually gonna make a pointed silicon. Well, it is here. It's making a pointed silicon, so it can put it in the bottom of this one. That's pretty nice. And then put the ME interface up here. What was it? I always need. This is another export bus over here, because all of them take redstone. So why don't we just import a redstone from our system? And hopefully we have redstone. So this will actually pull redstone. This will pull redstone here and pointed silicon here, pretty much no matter what, as long as you give it stuff left. And then on the top, that's where we're going to put the ME interface, because that's what changes depending on which processor we want to create. So then we're just going to wire this up, and then just start saying, hey, if we want to, I need all the different types of processors. Yeah, here it is. Logic processor, engineering, and this one. So then we pretty much say in the pattern terminal, if you want one calculation processor, take one pointed calculation circuit. Done. If you want a logic processor, get a pointed logic circuit. Done. If you want, if you hold down shift, these switch to actually what they are, which is very nice. Okay. And then I can just go to the ME interface and put them right there. So now I can actually order my engineering processor. So it'll actually craft. Oh, there's 10 availability. I want something that, yeah, here we go. So it's actually gonna craft these from this, and then it's gonna craft this. So it'll actually pull it. It's gonna craft a pointed logic circuit first, wherever that is. Logic was at the end. Yep. So it's actually pointing the pointed logic circuits first. It's pointing them, pulling them into the ME, putting them over here, and then great. I needed power on this one. That's what my mistake was. And then it's gonna make the pointed logic circuit, and then we need the import bus. What the input of it? Yep, here it is. To import it back into the system. I'll create it. It says, hey, I need another silicon. So now it's, where the silicon one is actually crafting another silicon for it. So then this is automated. That's it. We're good. Everything's done now. A couple more things. Calculation processors. And fluid crystals I can try. So to make, if I don't have covers, it's gonna be hard cable management. Here we go. Come over here. So now we're gonna make charged source quartz, because that is a pain. I don't really want to stand there and wait until it's done. So we're gonna need an ME interface on this side, an ME import bus on this side, with one charged source quartz and one. I need another source quartz. Oh wow. Charged source quartz. So this is only gonna export charged source quartz. That's the trick. And then this ME interface, we need a pattern over here, pattern terminal, wherever you are here, saying, hey, if I need a charged source quartz, take a source quartz. And then I can go over here to my interface terminal and put it in the charger. So now over here, it'll actually take source quartz and charge it, which is awesome. So like, let's say I have source quartz in the system, right? And I need charged source quartz. I want 10 of it. So then it's going to start pumping stuff over here. And then once immediately it's charged, it's going to pull stuff back into the system. Once this is charged, it'll pull it into the system and away once it gets charged. So over here we can see that by the amount of charge source quartz we have is going up, which is cool. So now we have printed logic circuits, okay, those, and then I'm gonna try this. Fluix crystals, okay? Those things they're just kind of annoying simply because you have to drop stuff, all that jazz, judo, whatever. So I know the system over here isn't pretty, but it's getting the job done. That's what matters. So we're gonna need a dropper, a red logic timer. Give me a second to dump all that stuff. A timer, redstone, crystal growth accelerator, water. Okay, and we don't need charge. So now what we're gonna need to do is we're gonna need to set up pretty much a little station, right? I think I can do this. So I get a source code bench, which is in the ME. So this is a system kind of like what you'd have set up, except for it should be more compact early. But I felt like splitting it out so you guys couldn't see the other ones. So here we go. So that looks good. So then what we're going to need to do is we're going to put an ME interface on top of this. And cable it. And cable this to this crystal growth accelerator. Needs power. So then we're going to say, hey, if I need a fluix crystal, so I need fluix crystal, then I need another quartz. Oh look, I got that. I need another quartz, some redstone, and some charged source quartz. So I need to go over to my pattern terminal, this guy. Charged source quartz, redstone, and one of these makes me a fluix crystal. That's good. So now over here on the dropper. Okay. So the interface is dropped here. And then I need to put a red logic timer over here. By the way, I've never done this before, just so you know. So I've tried, but it's kind of hard. So, and then what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna need a hopper underneath. I didn't think that you could move the crystal growth accelerators off the side. It's kind of silly by me. It's like, of course you can move them off to the side, idiot. So anyway, I'm gonna need to get down to redstone here, set up an inverter current because I want it to be off normally, but then only on when this ticks. So like that. So oh, oops, direction, right? That. So this will actually, let's have this wait 10 seconds. So every 10 seconds, the hopper is actually going to filter stuff. And then we need an import bus down here. And then we need cable coming up. Okay. So then, let's say I want a fluix crystal. Do I want a fluix crystal? I think so. I'm going to need to, where is my nether quartz? Get some more of that, get some more of that. And dump this in my inventory because I'm fine with it needing to grab that. So let's say I need more fluix crystals. Yeah, I want 10 more. So it's actually gonna craft So right now I'm also showing that it's charging the source core too before it can actually. Ooh, it is charged. So it's charging, putting it back in the ME, and then it's gonna feed it over here, where it drops everything, the redstone, everything. And then this is when you want a facade. I think it's called. It's a facade, you know. And then you'd you'd want to have this a little more enclosed, so like that, and a cable facade. Cable facade. The stuff I accidentally picked up back. Okay, so anyway, once those set off, it should grab whatever's there. There we go. So it should be whatever, I guess. I have no clue that ghost was. Anyway, so that's a glitch. It's actually still in there. Is that working? Like I've never tried this before, so I don't really know. It is working. It's actually working. Good. So even though this is going way too small, I can just have this go for like 4 seconds. Okay. So now that should be generating all the flux crystals we need, which is 10, right? I made 11 because I cheated and put some stuff in. So that's good. We got flux crystals. We got processors. We got charged source quartz. We got space. Not that much of it. We got automatic crafting, smelting. By the way, you can hook this up to more stuff. So over here, like you can put the ME interface under more things. So for example, I did an enrichment chamber. Well, let's do a metallurgic infuser. Those are fun. So metallurgic infuser, these things get a little complicated. So I actually had to use a couple of mods to actually do this effectively. So I needed actually some wooden transport pipes. Transport pipes, you know what those are? I don't know mod the phone. Don't ask me, because I don't know. And then I need diamond pipes. So pretty much what I have is here it is. So I need a chest. I need hoppers. This takes a while. So like there, ish. And then I need a wooden transport pipe on top, I think. I don't know. I only did this once. I'll show you guys. I have almost all this stuff set up in Cosmic Solver. So all this stuff that I'm showing you guys is in our solver, which is cool. Except for this thing. This thing I just built. It just kind of crazy. So now that's gonna start pumping stuff. Then we're gonna need a diamond pipe. And then we have a hopper here and a hopper no. With the it's a pretty compact machine at the end of the day, which is good. Here. Here. One of them feeds in here and the other one feeds in there. So this is going to be the input. No, this is going to be the. I like that to be the infuse over here, and that to be the input. It will need energy. Output can be. I don't really care. Output can be over here. Sure. What was the input bus over here? So not many of these actually need the ME. Only the ME interface we're going to hook up over here does. So this ME interface needs ME stuff, but everything else doesn't really. So now that's gonna, we can put recipes and stuff in there, and then we just need carbon, diamond, redstone. So I always like to use these so it doesn't jam the system or anything. So then, oh no, I didn't run out of inventory space. Get out of here, get out of here. Okay, I should have enough inventory space for them. Yeah, I do. So now the black ones need to be able to. So these are the black ones, kind of thing. And then everything else goes into the green. So pretty much it'll always put one of these guys over here, which is good. So then, like, let's say we want to hook up an atomic alloy, for example. We have redstone in here. No, I mean iron. Sorry. Iron. So if I take one compressed carbon and 10, make sure this works, because otherwise it'll jam your metallurgic infuser. Then I get 10 atomic alloys. Make sure that those numbers actually match, because then this metallurgic infuser can't get jammed, which is awesome. So as long as you have the 10s in there, then nothing will get jammed, which is awesome. And then if I come over here and have, like I said, you can have anything you want. So I set up an enrichment chamber earlier to over here. So actually, this guy also. So this guy will just take its input from the bottom, input energies over there. Let's have output be the back. No, that's not the back. This is the back. Output. Yeah. So the input's going to be below. We need an input bus right there. Okay. Then we just need. I think I already have a redstone in the system, so I'm just going to make a redstone one just to show you. One redstone equals one of these. Go ahead. And then I can put that in the enrichment chamber over here. So then if, let's say I want the alloys. Did I drop those off yet? I did. One compressed carbon. Is that even right? I don't even know. Anyway, let me just check real quick. I need to order some. Let's order these next. It's missing one compressed carbon. Okay. Then it'll start crafting all that stuff, which it might actually. Oh, that's enriched iron. Whatever. I did it wrong. Oh, you need power too, don't you? Why does everything need power nowadays? Power. Why do you need that? Yep. So now power surges through the system, and it gets enriched iron because I was being stupid earlier. And you'd still fill this up with speed and energy upgrades, but too lazy. Yep, it did. And it dumped it. Good. So now I should actually probably correct that recipe because it's wrong, frankly. Redstone and 10. iron equals 10 atomic alloys. That is the problem, is that you can actually make a bad recipe because it's all up to you, kind of thing. So you can make a bad recipe, and this is gonna finish because it's still getting power. It's not gonna slow itself down. It's just gonna keep going. But now, as long as I have redstone and iron in the system, it should make me. Yeah, compressed redstone is craftable. So now this guy, I can go, hey, I want this. It's crafting one. So it's going to actually put it in the enrichment chamber over here. Redstone. And it's going to make it one compressed redstone. Output it into the system, and then go over here. You're kidding me. Does it not like my output? Huh? Do you not like my output? Oh. Maybe set all those to output. That out. That work. That work. There. You gone yet? It's having problems. I don't know. Probably because it can't decide between them. There you go. You gone yet? No? I don't know why that isn't working. It's being stupid. Uh, oh awesome, it's not working. Is that an import or an export bus? Import, that's correct. I might be taking too many channels. That's probably what's happening. Just feed it from over. Put import bus on your face. Okay. Didn't use very many for the metallurgical fuses, so I'm not supposed to use that. Yeah, okay, well. So now this can start pumping redstone and iron. It'll deposit it in the correct chests. The metallurgical fuse will start working. I'm lazy, so I won't do this. 64 speed upgrade, which can't even hold. And then it speeds itself up. Since my power is based on solar panels, it takes forever, but hey, it doesn't matter. Because all the systems is running off a couple of solar panels. Yeah, so that's how you pretty much automate anything you pretty much want. You can automate a mass ladle. I did it. What else can you automate? Almost anything you want. Almost. I was having some trouble with the output wasn't working so well. And I might just switch that. Yeah, I don't know what it was. But it wasn't really mandatory, so I just ditched it. And then oh, joy. I don't have enough channels for that either. This is out of channels. So why isn't this on? This should be on. For the ME system that we have, if you want to look at how I did that, it's pretty much the exact same thing I did here, except for less brawly, and I didn't have as many resources. So like I didn't do this P2P cable thing, and the ME system's more of a mess. Over here are the cables because they're going everywhere. Couples and so it's fun doing the ME system. It can be. But it can also be a genuine pain. So I mean, they're way better than chests, and you can do massively awesome stuff with them, but they do take a little while. And then Singularities is coming soon to the Cosmic. So, and that's still not powered. What? Yeah, that's cool. So yeah, so that's my video. You guys liked it? Um, yeah, might have taken a little longer than I wanted to, but hey, have fun. Have fun building your own creations. Here's my video. Team Cosmic signing off.